Hi everyone, very good evening and welcome back to Geeks for Geeks practice. Today we will be discussing yesterday's problem of the day, that is nothing but cutting binary strings, which has been asked in companies like Flipkart. So please give me a +1 in the chat if my voice is clearly audible to everyone. Hi Madbar Joshi as well, and hi to all other people who are present here. So, guys, you can just hit the like button and give me a +1 so that I can understand that everything is working fine. Hi, Rishit, as well. So, let me quickly share my screen and let's try to discuss this problem. It is very interesting and it's quite easy as well if you have been regularly doing the problem of the day. Okay, so yes, let's start with the discussion of this problem. Okay, so we are going to do this problem, that is cutting binary strings. Okay, now when you have a look at this particular problem, so it says that you will be given a string s which will be consisting of zeros and ones. Okay, so it says that you will be given a string s that will be consisting of zeros and ones, the character 0 and the character 1. So this much part is fine. Then it says that you have to return the smallest positive integer c, so you have to return the smallest positive integer c such that the binary string can be split into C pieces, and each piece should be a power of 2 with no leading zeros, right? So if you take this particular example now, so basically you have to do what? You have to split, you have to find and you have to try and split the binary string. Okay, you have to try and split the string s into pieces, into minimum pieces, right? Into minimum pieces, such that every piece is going to be a power of 2, right? And you have to try and find that what is the minimum number of pieces. If it is not possible, then you have to return -1. So if you will see, let's say the string is given something like this. Okay, let's say this string has been given to you. Then in this case, this particular part will be the first that I will break, then second and third. So in this case you can see here that basically this is indicating 5, which is a power of 2, this is 5, which is a power of 2, and this is 5, which is a power of 2. So in that case I can say that the minimum number of pieces that I can divide the string into is 3, because if I divide it into 3 parts, that is the minimum that I can divide. Okay, and all the 3 parts will be a power of 2. Is this part clear to everyone? Please write yes or no in the chat, guys. Is this particular part clear to everybody present in the chat? Just let me know. Okay, is this part clear, guys? Right, so what we have to do is we have to check and we have to find this particular thing. Now another thing is that if I have to find the minimum, right? So can I say that I have to try all possible ways, right? I have to do what? I have to try and follow all possible ways, right? I have to try to cut it from here and there, every place, right? So if I think of all possible ways, then there is something that comes to my mind, that is nothing but recursion. Please write yes in the chat. Is this part clear to Shreya and Rashid and everyone? When I think of trying all possible ways in order to find the minimum number of cuts that I can make, such that every cut that I have made, it is a power of 2. So I have to try all possible ways. So all possible ways is nothing but what? Recursion. Okay, so indirectly I have to apply the DP approach also, right? The memoization thing. That is one thing. And another thing is, if I will think about this particular problem, so there is another thing. Let's suppose that if you have what, 101. Okay, so yeah, if you have this thing, then you have this, then you have this. So can I say one thing, that it will be better if I traverse from the back side? Because if suppose this is a string given, so this is the 0th index, this is the last index. So can I say that it is better to traverse from the back index? Because then if I'm making the number, so I can say that this will be 1 2 and this will be 4, then this number will be made as 5. Then again this will be 1 2 and 4, so this will be made as 5. So it is better for us when we are converting this binary number also into the decimal part. So it will be better if we traverse it from the back side. Is this part clear to everyone? Please write yes or no, guys, in the chat. Is it clear to everybody who is present here in the chat? Right, so it is better that I traverse it from the back side initially in the starting. Okay, so this much point is clear to everyone. All possible ways we have to try, so that's nothing but recursion. So there the DP will come into play, because there will be a lot of overlapping sub problems. And another thing is that we should try and traverse from the back side. That is another thing, right? So this much is the part. Now if you will observe, so what can we do here? So let's say I can write a recursive function, and in this recursive function, what I will write is I will write, let's say what I can say here. Let's say if I will write a recursive function, okay, and in this recursive function, initially what I'm going to pass is, let's say if I pass the string s, okay, and I pass the s dot size -1, so I am passing the last index here. Suppose this string will return me the minimum ways, okay. So let's say if I'll mark this as int answer is equal to this thing, right? So yeah, this is what I will do. Now in this particular case, now you have to observe one thing, that it might be possible that the return resultant answer, like I might have to return -1, okay. So since I'm going to find the minimum ways now, so in that case, if it is not possible now, so in those cases I'll return always infinity, that is positive infinity. So if I'm returning answer is equal to, let's say, int max, the maximum value that an integer can store, okay. So if the answer is still this much, so in that case I need to return what? I will return -1. Agree? Else what I can return is I can simply return the minimum answer. Is it clear? If the answer is if after the recursion, even if we apply the recursion all possible ways, and even after that, if the answer is going to be positive infinity, right? So in that case, what we need to say is, it is not possible us to divide the string, and will return -1, else will return the minimum possible ways. So yeah, this point is also clear to everyone. Now let us talk about the function part as well, like how we are going to deal with that part. Okay, so yeah, if I will write it like this, let's say if I'll write int, and let's say this is the recursive function, since it can be in long type, or will it not be long? I think it might not be long, but it will be better if I take it long. So let me take this answer as long as well. Okay, because I'll be adding 1 to it now, so it might exceed the integer limit. So it's better that if I take the long type, okay, and if I pass the string ampersand s, and then I pass, let's say, the current index that I am at, okay, that is nothing but I. Now in this case, if I keep on reducing, right, so I value is very large initially, right? So if I value becomes negative, right, so in that case I cannot break anything, so I cannot make any cuts, right? So in that case I'll return 0. Is this particular part clear to everyone? That suppose that if I value becomes less than 0, so suppose I keep on dividing, and I becomes negative, so that division is not possible. So in that case I will say that I'll return 0, because I'll say that, okay, the string is not further divisible, right? That is one thing. Is this part clear? And I have to try and cut it at every point, right? If you will understand, right? So if suppose I value is here, then I might try to cut it here, whatever, right? Might try to cut it here. So that is why I have to run a loop. Please write a loop in the chat, okay? So that is why what I have to try is, I have to try and run a j loop kind of thing, okay? So Madhbar Joshi must be understanding this as well, right? So initially I'll have, let's say, the answer here, and I will mark it as int max, okay? And out of all the possible cuts that I can make, I'll try to make the minimum cut, okay? So in this particular case, what I will do here is, let's say, initially what I will do is, I'll say that, okay, I will have a j variable, because that is the kind of cuts that I can have, starting like that the length of the cut can be I or lesser than I. So I'll try to make the use of all possible cuts, right? And I will say that, suppose if it happens, right? So in this case, I need to take, let's say, long temp, okay? Temp will be initially marked as 0. This will indicate me the cut that I am making, right? This will tell us, this temp is going to always, whenever I'll encounter a 1, so it is going to get added with 2 to the power I. This is going to be done, so that this can be done. What I can do is, I'm going to do this thing so that I can understand that what is the current power, okay? So let's say I will also take a variable long t is equal to 0 initially, right? Just give me a second. So this will always, if I encounter a 1, so suppose I'm splitting, and initially p is 0, so if I encounter a 1, so I will add 2 to the power p and things like that. So I will say that if it happens that the current s of I, if it's equal to 1, right? So in that case, what I will do is, I'll say that, okay, temp plus is equal to what? Temp plus is equal to power power of 2 comma p. Okay, so basically what it will do is it will add it by 2 to the power p, right? Because suppose what will happen now here in this case, when I will be here, so p will be 0, then p will be 1, then p will be 2. Okay, so the temp will become what? Temp will actually become 5. Then since it will be a power of 2, so I will break at this point, right? Then after that again p will start from 0. So that is what my idea is it clear to everyone? Please write yes or no in the chat, guys. Is this much part clear to everybody who is present in the chat? Current index to 0, yeah, because we will try to break at all possible points now. So you can understand p will be 0 here, then p will go till 2 here, but after that, since I'm going to break here again, so p will become 0 again now. So that is what we can try to do. Okay, so once this is done, so we will have a check function. Okay, we'll have a check function that if the current value that I'm getting, if it is a power of 2, okay, so in that case, if this returns a true, so if the current value that I have got, if it will be a power of 2, so in this case, when will the temp become a power of 2? When you are here, see, p is equal to 0, p is equal to 1, and p is equal to 2. So at this point, my temp will become what? My number is going to become 5. Thanks a lot, Vanchika. So that number is going to become 5. When it will become 5, so whenever the number becomes a power of 2, okay, and it happens that there are no leading zeros also, because I don't want any leading zeros. Okay, because it says that don't take expressions like this. If suppose that it was like 0 1 0, this thing. So if it was something like this, then we will not take it, right? We will only take 101 kind of, because it says that the very starting guy should not be a leading zero. So that is what I will check, that if the current ith guy that I am going to break at, okay, if it is not a leading zero, right? So this is just to avoid the leading zeros. If the number that I have made, it is a power of 2, and it does not contain, if the binary representation does not contain any leading zeros, so in this case I will say that, okay, I will try to make this particular cut. So if I have to make this cut, so let's say if I will make this current kind of a cut, right? So in that case, I'm going to call the recursive function. That is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pass the string as s, and I'm going to pass j minus 1, because that is the portion of the string that will be left there, right? And I will check that if the current is not equal to, okay, int max. Okay, if it has not exceeded, if it is possible to make that particular cut, in that case, what I will say is, I say that answer is equal to minimum of answer comma the current part. Is this part clear to everybody or not? Please write yes or no in the chat. Also, one more thing, I'll always keep on doing the p plus plus thing. So till now, is it clear to all of you guys or not? Please tell me. P is like the yeah, it is like increasing the power p. Okay, so this is one thing that I'm trying. If it is a power of 2 and it is not a leading zero at that point of time, so I will calculate the result for the rest of the part also, and then I am going to check if it is not like that. Then I will do 1 plus current. Okay, 1 plus current, because I'm making the current cut now. So if I'm making the current cut, so I'll say it as plus 1. Please write plus 1 in the chat. We need to add 1 also here, because if I'm going to make the current cut at the jth point, then rest of the remaining string will be till j minus 1, right? So 1 plus the current, that is what I'm going to pass here. Okay, so this much point is pretty much understandable for everyone. So that is what I can try to do, and in the end I can simply return the answer here. Okay, so this is what we will try to do, and after that we need to have a check function which can check for the power of 2, whether the number is a power of 2 or not. That is another thing that we need to check. So let's say we'll write a bool check function here, and we will pass what? We'll pass the number. So let's say we'll pass long int, let's say x is the number currently that is being passed. So if it happens that x is equal to 1, then it is going to be a power of 2. So I will return true here. Okay, because 1 is 2 to 5 to the power 0 is 1, so it will be a power of 2. Otherwise, what I can say is that I can mark, let's say, long let's say a variable like a is equal to 5. So I'll check with the powers of 2 here. Okay, and I'll mark the long let's say the p value initially here as 1. Okay, so I'll check with 5 to the power 1, 5 to the power 2, and stuff like that. So if I need to check, do I need this, or can I just multiply with 5? Maybe I can just multiply with 5 instead of having a variable here. Yeah, that would be better. So I can have a while loop, okay, and I will check that if it happens, right? If it happens that in this case, if it happens that the a value, if it is lesser than 5, right? If it is if it is lesser than, sorry, if it is lesser than x, then in that case what I will always keep on doing is I'll say that a is equal to a into 5. Okay, that is what I am going to do. And after the loop is over, if it happens that a value equal to x, then in that case I will return a true, that okay, it is possible. Otherwise what I will do is I will return a false. Is this part clear to everyone? Please write yes or no. The check function must be clear to everybody as well, I think so. Right. I hope that I have written the check function correctly. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to have a as 5, and then I'm going to multiply it with 5 as far as possible. So a asterisk is equal to 5 is something that I can do, and if it becomes x, then I will return true at the end. If the loop breaks, so either it will be because a becomes equal to x or not. So yeah, it says that answer was not declared, but okay, so I have declared a n as like this. Okay, so now let's try and do one thing. Let's try and have it. Okay, so it says that my answer is returning -1, whereas the actual answer, line 29, should be the answer. Yeah, but still I'm not getting the perfect thing. Why is that so? Is there any other kind of mistake that I am doing here? That is what we need to check for this part. Do I need to make the p as 0 or something somewhere? That is what I think I'm missing, no? Or what? Mm, is there any part that I'm missing here, guys? Just can we place line number 38 to 35 inside that? Okay, have I not put it inside? I don't think so that we need to put it inside, because if it's a power, then I just keep on doing this thing. So do I need to put this inside? I don't think so that we need to put it inside, because every time I get the IS guys, so I will do something of that sort. Okay. So I think that much part is pretty much fine for all of us, but still I'm getting some kind of error. Why is that so? Uh, okay, I should check for J. Very sorry. I should check for S of J. Very sorry. I should not check for S of I na, because the loop is for J. Yeah, that is the part that I have missed. Very sorry for that, guys. Yeah, so I should check for S of J actually. Okay, it works fine on the samples. Let's try and test this code. Okay, so yeah, it does work. Is this clear? So I was not checking for S of J. Sorry. So actually, no. Yeah, you can. I can use DP here. I understand. So I'll be using DP also. So is this part clear? Right. Whenever you will break at this point, then in the next case, the next recursion will start from p is equal to 0. So again, this much part you're going to break. So something like this is going to happen. Is it clear to everyone? And since the loop was J, na, so that I need to check for S of J. Is this part clear? There is one small optimization that we can do, that there might be some states that might be called again and again, obviously. So in this case, we can take a DP, and if you will see, so I think the string length is going to be maximum 50. So for that, we can declare the constraint as int DP, and we can declare a DP of, let's say, 51 size or something like that. Then I can initially initialize it to memset and DP comma -1 comma size of dp. So I'm going to initialize initially dp as -1. And then what we had, this was a easy problem. No, it was not that difficult, obviously. So it was just that you needed to think that we should iterate from the backside and all that stuff. So if dp of I is not equal to -1, so if that state is already calculated, so we'll directly return the value of dp of I. All right, otherwise what we can do is, otherwise we need to store it, calculate it, store it, and then return it, so that we don't calculate that ith state again in future, because that is the only thing that's changing. The string is never going to change. So okay, so I'm doing something wrong here. If it is not equal to -1, so did I do some mistake in the initialization part? Yeah, I should take the DPS long. Sorry. Yeah, now it should work fine, because actually I think the data type was long. That is why it is overflowing. Okay, it is again not giving the correct answer. Why is that so? Because of which thing am I getting this error? So if I will understand here, I'm declaring a DB, that is fine. So still, if I'm getting an error, so why is it so? I doing any mistake even after declaring the DP? So after I get this answer, so I should store it as well. That is what I have done here. Okay. Am I initializing it correctly? I think so that I am, because initially I'm marking its value like this. Let me check. So if the I becomes negative, then I'm returning 0 because there's no further pieces that I can break it into. If it is not -1, that I'm returning this answer. Okay. Otherwise, I've marked the answer like this, so that is also fine. So is there any place that I'm making a mistake, guys? Uh, in the DP part, because I'm not getting the optimal answer. We are using memset after the recursion. Okay. Yeah, sorry, very sorry. Yeah, I'm using it after the recursion. That is why I was getting a wrong answer, because it should be done before the recursion. Very sorry. Thanks a lot, Rashid. Yeah, the value should be initialized as -1 before the recursive call. Sorry. Yeah, that was the mistake that I was making. Thanks a lot, Rashid. Before, I was calling the memset after the recursive call. So it should be called before. So I should initialize all the values as -1 before. So is this problem clear to everyone? Is today's problem of the day clear to everyone? If you will see, this problem was asked in a lot of companies like Flipkart and many others. But is the approach for this problem clear to everybody? Yes or no? Please tell me, guys. Okay, let me write GFGID here. Very sorry. Yeah, I made a basic mistake. I was just thinking about it. Okay. So let me generate the link of this code as well. Thanks a lot, guys, that you have understood this thing. And now let's get a link for ourselves. Yeah, we get this link. Now we are going to paste it somewhere here so that I can share this code with you. Okay. So yes, talking about this problem, it was quite easy. It was not that difficult if you know about the basics of DP, and you can try all possible ways. Then you will use recursion. You'll try to cut at each of the points. So you'll run a J loop from I till 0. And if you cut at the jth point, then the rest of the string will be from J -1 length. Okay. So that is how you have to try and solve this problem. So this was it for today's problem of the day, guys. We'll discuss sorry, yesterday's problem of the day. We'll discuss the today's problem of the day tomorrow, and it's going to be a good problem as well. So I'm eagerly waiting for tomorrow's session. With that being said, thanks a lot for joining for today's session, and keep coding, and please give me a +1 if you have understood everything, if you're watching the recording. Thank you, and have a great day tomorrow. Thank you, guys.